Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here on our Sunday tradition that is now moved into our 13th year of bringing you the Couch Potato Sports Show. Excited about today's show as we got a lot. You want to talk potpourri? I got potpourri for your ass. There's so much NFL news to talk about, so many scenarios to talk about, so many things that are important as what has happened this past week that we are going to get to. However, that being said, to start off the show, let me get this out here real quick. There is breaking news here in the sporting world. Well, depending on what you think is sports, okay? In sports entertainment, there's breaking news, that be wrestling for folks that don't follow it and why it is or why we call it. But sports entertainment, the big guy right now needs our prayers. That's right, Razor Ramon, that or Scott Hall from The Outsiders is now on life support after suffering three heart attacks. This coming off of a hip surgery that he had. And so he got over the hip surgery, but there's some blood clots that went and moved around that loosened up. And right now he is on life support as of right now, still alive, but this is not good for the big guy. And guys, I'm going to tell you why this is actually a sad moment for me. And I will say this as well. Obi, in the time when we were watching wrestling together, we were both sitting watching when Scott Hall came out of the audience after, saying adios to the WWE. However, everybody thought he was still part of the WWE. And that whole thing and the starting of the Outsiders and the starting of the NWO, which led to the war, the Monday Night Wars, as we call them today in the wrestling business, back and forth between WWE and WCW, as they like to say. And folks that don't know or don't think about it or have an inkling about the importance of Scott Hall coming out of the stands, coming onto a live WCW program, and what that whole deal, what it brought to wrestling, where wrestling is today because of just Scott Hall coming out of the stands. We could be talking about a different day in wrestling if that did not happen. That being Scott Hall is a guy that really, really helped put wrestling on the map during the time that whole thing went down. And he was a big part of it. And if he does not make it, he will be knocking on the doors of heaven, looking in it and looking in and saying, hey, yeah. So, guys, those that are wrestling fans, or that, no, I mean, look at Scott Hall, what he did throughout his career. Before that, he was not necessarily that he was nobody, because Razor Ramon was a big part of wrestling back in that day. Okay, but before Razor Ramon and the, really pretty much the makeover, that's what I call it, because if you go and watch Scott Hall in the 80s, late 80s, on WCW and some of the WCWW brands, you've seen Scott Hall with the big, mustache, the big biker mustache, and but his transformation into Razor Ramon, and then again the transformation into the outsider Scott Hall, obviously his name, really put wrestling in the map, and brought a lot of people who were not part of wrestling back to wrestling. And the importance of the outsiders, the importance of the Monday Night Wars. He was not only a part of it, he was probably one of the biggest parts of that whole thing. So we got our prayers out to Scott Hall this day, again, suffering 3 heart attacks after having hip surgery. Looks like a blood clot started moving around, and that's where he is today. We'll keep you apprised of anything that comes from that as we go on the show, as we will be actively looking toward that. Now, today, don't know if I'm riding solo or not. Don't matter. Couch Potato Sports Show on the air, because lots of things to talk about. And I will tell you, last week, I got an email, and so I got to put it out there. Jonathan and I are okay, guys. Jonathan and I are okay. So I just want to let everybody know that, because I got an email saying, are you guys okay? You guys seem to know. That is what we do. That is what Jonathan is. And that's the reason why he's on this show, and always welcome. I don't know if he'll be here today. I haven't heard from anybody today, but that don't matter. With all the things that are going on in sports, and especially the NFL, we're going to hop into some of that today. And I will tell you the situation that, and it's funny, I don't even have the how do you say it? I don't have the understanding of what's going on down in here in Dallas. Now, have we ever understood what is ever going to go on in Dallas? We don't. And we had this discussion last week with Jonathan. But I want to get to Amari Cooper. The Amari Cooper trade that happened is pathetic. The Dallas Cowboys sending Amari Cooper and a 6th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns for a 2022 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick per multiple reports. That has been confirmed, by the way. And I have got to ask the question. And I always will ask the question. I'll be up on top of it. Hey, yo. That's right. Hey, yo. Maybe we'll get Cuervo in. I don't know. But this move right here, as far as Amari Cooper and the Cowboys, this is no great big surprise. Because, first of all, it was noted that they were going to just release him. And this was because of money. All right, so I want everybody to kind of understand the money portion of it, because people are kind of taking this really out of proportion. Yes, there was $20 million. There was lots of money. But the money the Cowboys were saving were not for this year, even though it worked for money this year, but it won't even matter. This is about money for next year. The Dallas Cowboys are going in with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, who one of them can't stay healthy. And then who do they have after this? Now, if you could get Dak Prescott, And this might be a tough get. But if you could get Dak Prescott to learn how to throw in a zone, they would have found Amari Cooper and got him the ball more and everything else. Okay, so there we go. He's got a comment here. We'll keep track of the fine co-host on the show here with comments. So we'll do that. But back to Amari Cooper. This right here is the reason why the Dallas Cowboys are who they are. This is and Jonathan, you know, with all due respect, and everybody knows I love Jonathan. So Jonathan missed the point of what was going on. First of all, CeeDee Lamb always getting hurt. Or no, Michael Gallup getting hurt. Was not part of the first part of the season when the Dallas Cowboys went 6-1. Wasn't even a part of it. CeeDee Lamb and everything else. Now, the signing of Schultz to the franchise tag makes 0 sense. Because all you needed to do was bump him up a couple million, he would have been just fine. He would have been fined at about 5 to 6 million. Everybody be fine. Instead, they push him up to 10.8. Now, granted, that's, you know, the 10.8 is only half of what Amari Cooper is making within the 20. But you got to understand something. The reason why Schultz was actually successful is because they didn't know how to break a zone. A zone defense was coming their way. They got the ball to Schultz. This is not the thinking that he's the next Jason Witten coming here, okay? Because if they do, they'll realize that might not be the right thing. Now, I'm not saying that Schultz is not a good tight end, okay? In fact, he is the only reason why they were doing what they were doing in the late portion of the season. The guy deserved a raise, should have got it, and I will tell you right now, this is not the right move as far as the franchise tag is concerned. So reports say that the Cowboys needed a culture change and getting rid of Cooper. It is laughable. Now, granted, if Dak Prescott took to heart what was said about him being the black Kirk Cousins, that I only got one thing to say. Just stop it. Your crybaby bullshit isn't working here, okay? If that happened, and let's say it did, the time that it was, he wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. So where the Cowboys are now are in a situation that puts them in a lot of trouble, especially if one of their wide receivers go down. Their wide receiver core is in a lot of trouble as it is. And you can say whatever you want. Listen, I love me some CeeDee Lamb. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Michael Gallup. Don't get me wrong. I want anybody who is not necessarily a Dallas Cowboy fan but follows the NFL, tell me the next wide receiver they have on this football team. Just tell me. They had a 1-2-3 punch that was the best in the NFL. Now they go to Noah Brown. Now they go to Fajardo, or however you say his name. They are actually going to go into this season with a backup of wide receivers that no one has ever heard of. And not only that, guys that they don't have to worry about on the defensive side of the ball. I listen. Listen, you want to put some stock on Michael Gallup, great. You want to put some stock on CeeDee Lamb, meaning defense, and worry about, great. Go ahead. Noah Brown? No. Now, Schultz, to a certain extent, depending on how a defense will play it, they can take Schultz completely out of the passing game and then say, try to beat us on the outside with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Not a bad 1-2 tandem at all, but literally nobody behind them. This is a bad move for the Dallas Cowboys. And I will say this straight out as we get started here early here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to win the NFC East. They are making the worst moves that I've seen since I have been here. This team was 12-5, regardless if you thought Amari Cooper wasn't a part of it. Defenses still had to allow for him. Okay, they still had to make sure they get it down. So they went around and went with Schultz. Wonderful, great. But 12-5 next year, not happening for Dallas. They'll be lucky to win 10 to 11 games, because we are going to see some improvements not only in throughout the NFL, but especially in the NFC East. The NFC East, listen, they're just going to be better than what they have been. And with the Eagles now dying to keep Jalen Hurts in, and they come out and giving this guy a lot of confidence, they're trying to go out and find him. Washington, I don't care what anybody says, and we'll talk about it. Adding Wentz makes that team a better at quarterback, so they make them more consistent and an actual contender in the NFC East. So Washington is right there. I don't know what you can expect from the Giants with the new regime and everything that's going on in there, but it is an open market in the NFC East, because the history shows that this division is so bad, and history has shown that around 500 can win this division depending on what's going on. But the Dallas Cowboys, who went 12-5, are completely obliterating not just the wide receiver position, offensive lineman, we're going to let him go. He may not have been the best, but he was part of it to produce some kind of protecting. There was money involved. But when you're Jerry Jones and you got the money, just pay these things out in bonuses, get under the cap, and shut up about how much you're spending. You're Jerry Jones. You don't care. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Jerry Jones today would pay $20 million for a Super Bowl championship? That's why you keep Amari Cooper. The Dallas Cowboys, they're a wreck. And they're going to keep making it wreck. And by the way, before we jump on Jerry Jones, let's not do that. The simple fact of the matter is it's his son. So for all you that think Jerry Jones is the problem going into this year, I want you to back up on that thinking, because it's not true. This is his son, Stephen Jones, making these decisions. He's supposedly a cap wizard, but he may be a cap wizard, but he's killing his football team. And when you go into this season, if you do not grab up a first-round offensive lineman, and I don't know if they even have a first round, but if they do, they better get an offensive lineman, and they better find some more, because they're letting, I think it's Collins go. So a lot of things going on in Dallas that puts them in a position where they may not even be the best team in their own league or their own division of football. It absolutely feels like the old Cowboys within the last two moves, according to Cuervo. Absolutely. And I remember last week, me and Jonathan getting on Amari Cooper. Collins is going to be traded or released, just like Amari Cooper. Are they going to go get some kind of stupid trade up on that as well? The Dallas Cowboys are in a lot of trouble. Dallas Cowboy fans, for all these lifers, as far as Dallas Cowboy fans are concerned, you are in a lot of trouble. You having the feeling that the Dallas Cowboys will be better, a lot of trouble. So hold on to your ass, Fred, as they say in Smokey and the Bandit. This is going to be a long season. Now, they still have an opportunity to make some moves in free agency. Don't get me wrong. And if those moves, kind of work out what the stupidity that they have this past week, then maybe they might have a chance. But going 12-5 is a long way from what they are. Traded or released. Unbelievable. So the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of stuff, and we can go on. But again, let's not put this on Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones right now is only providing the money. The person that are making these decisions to lose Amari Cooper and everything else. Now, granted, I get the cap repercussions, but you're keeping Ezekiel Elliott on this football team, which, by the way, is not even the better running back on the team. That's Pollard. But, feed him more. Give him his gimmick, and then they're okay. And that was a horrible contract, and it hurts more for the Ezekiel Elliott. This is where, when you make bad decisions in the front office, you lose a guy like Amari Cooper. And not only that, say whatever you want. I don't know. I don't even know who's going to quarterback that Browns football team. I will tell you right now, they just got that much better at the wide receiver position. And just like that. And it cost them nothing. Dallas Cowboy fans need to be pissed. Okay, not that the money's coming out of their own pocket, but if you're just going to let Amari Cooper go, or, if they would have released him, that would have been stupid. So I guess you've got to feel good about the, sixth rounder that you get. Hey, man, the Browns, with that move, put themselves in a very good situation at the wide receiver position. I'm telling you right now, because the Browns are a different football team. The Browns are not a team that, well, maybe they should be in reality, but they're not. Jarvis Landry, love him. Peoples-Jones, love him. I even like Higgins, love him. And then they got the second-year guy, Anthony Schwartz. Now they're just going to add Amari Cooper onto this. So whoever will be throwing the football in Cleveland, whether that is, one, first rounder, that's huge. Here it is. Trade proves that the franchise may be a little bit too enamored with absolutely with CeeDee Lamb. Bad thinking, in my opinion. That's according to Cuervo. And again, you have the other guy on the other side who is injury prone, Michael Gallup. So I don't know. Will he be traded? I don't know. Will they keep him? I don't know. Should they keep him? Absolutely. But I don't know how that money works and what they'll do in order to cut to make that better for them. That part, Cuervo, I don't know. But if they were smart, they'd keep Landry. But if you lose him, what a great move to back up and really cover for Landry. Again, Landry really in reality is a step-up number 2. Yeah, I just said it. Not a number 1, a step-up number 2. He qualifies for that step-up number 2. Might be able to be the number 1. But when you bring in Amari Cooper, that's a solidification of a number 1 wide receiver. And I don't care what Jonathan says. That guy can play. And just because Dak cannot throw against the zone is the only reason why we're sitting here today and not having Amari Cooper on that football team with 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. That had to be shifted over to Schultz. Now, fantastic. They shifted it and figured it out. But you make Amari Cooper a sacrificial lamb, and not only that, lose your number 1. Because Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb are not number 1 wide receivers. They're number 2s on any other football team in the NFL. And yeah, I said that too. So, and Cuervo informing me about Landry's agent has already given permission to seek a trade. Great. Wonderful. What will Landry be able to? I don't know. I just think that's stupid too. If I'm Landry, listen, I only benefit by bringing on Amari Cooper because regardless of what anybody says, you have to worry about Amari Cooper when he's out on the football field. That opens it up for Landry to have a big season as the step-up number 2 wide receiver on that football team. Dumb move. Also heard some moves before the gambling portion of it. Ridley was being considered up in Philadelphia, and that would have been great. Still should be great, but he's gone for the year. So lots of things. And Dallas Cowboy fans, guess what? This is what you get when you have an old man at the front of these just throwing money away. And then, yes, Stephen Jones has to figure it out, but Stephen Jones has to be smarter. This is not the right move, right time, or the right situation to do what they're doing regarding Amari Cooper. It just is not. And it could happen in week number 1. Now, granted, just as easy, Michael Gallup or CeeDee Lamb getting hurt, yes, Amari Cooper could get hurt too as well. But Amari Cooper hasn't proved that he's always hurt. This is not a good thing. Not a good thing. Cuervo says they have to either trade away Landry or restructure his contract. After the trade for Cooper, Cleveland's currently $8 million over the cap. Well, just go ahead and give Landry the bonus of $8 million, shut it up, and there you are. And then you got a mad 1, a mad 2, where regardless if it's Baker Mayfield or whoever's going to throw the football there, that becomes a solid piece. Pay the $8 million. See, and that's where a lot of these teams are missing out on a lot of them. Yes, I get it. You want to save money. If you're the Browns, I get it. But when you're the Dallas Cowboys, again, I'll say it. If right now Jerry Jones could spend $20 million to be in the Super Bowl, he'd do it. And they just took about 3 steps back with Amari Cooper, then losing Collins, as well as some other things. But yet they had no reason to franchise tag Schultz. 0. He wasn't going anywhere. He was going to stay there, give him $4 extra million, and then franchise tag somebody that matters. This is not a guy that you franchise tag. And I like Schultz. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Schultz. This guy has got talent. This guy can get open, especially when they're playing zone. He sneaks right in there. But you know how you can also accomplish that? Get a real slot wide receiver in there as well. Maybe bring back Cole Beasley. But you don't solve that by making Schultz one of the top, being paid the salary of the top 5 tight ends in the league. That's just stupid. But then again, when you got that much money, as the Dallas Cowboys do, they make stupid mistakes. This is just a dumb thing to do. And as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned, if you don't think the Giants, Washington, or the Eagles are going to be better, I would think and say, if they don't, you're just backing yourself up to it. If they don't improve, you just back up to 10-7. You back up to 9-8, just like where are the other ones if they don't improve, because that's where they're going to be, around 500 floating. One team will be below 500. The other ones will be floating around 500. And the one that takes a 1 or 2 3-game lead is going to end up winning that division. They just backed themselves up. 12-5, guys. Love the 12-5 for your Dallas Cowboys. Not only that, think about this on the other side of the ball. If you think Diggs is going to come up with that many interceptions to turn around this team in order to get to the 12-5, not even talking about losing these players, Diggs isn't going to do that again. He isn't going to multiply that again. Odds are, and I would put the money on that right now if I was in Vegas, that Diggs won't even get, 3/4 of what he got in interceptions last year. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. That's where Diggs was. This guy's not a ball hawk. So let's say, just remember how many yards he also gives up. I talked about it last year with Cuervo, that this Dallas Cowboys defense is a mirage of being good, and they were lucky to finish 12-5. And I will also say that they would have finished 13-4, 12-5, if they didn't give up all those yards. So again, it's better to be lucky than good. And Diggs is not going to be the same guy as he was last year. And if you do, you're just wishing one hand, pee in the other, and see which one fills up first. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are next year. Congratulations. Stephen Jones is not, I thought that Stephen Jones would be really good for this football team. I really did. I thought he had the one, at least with the level mind. But Collins signing Schultz to the franchise tag, letting Amari Cooper go. Watch out, they're going to give Diggs a lot of money. This is it's just one of those things. And it's going to get ugly. Yeah, and not only that, aren't they there's a defender that says, listen, I'm not taking a pay cut, and he's out there for trade probably. They come into, I forget his name, Lawrence. Yeah, a strong pass rush will help Diggs. But if they don't have Lawrence out there making that work for them, you're not going to see Diggs have the big. Oh, good to see the train back here on Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon. But lots of other things. These Dallas Cowboys and these Dallas Cowboy fans, they just kissed 12-5 goodbye. They'll be right back down at best 11-6, if not 10-7. And they're going to be fighting for their lives in week 18 of the NFL. So that's going to be it. Yes, absolutely. They definitely need safety help. Good point, Trey Mack. But I will say this. It's a I told you so situation from last year about their defense. I want you to watch their defense this year, this upcoming season, and see how bad it is. Now, also, that being said, I was thinking about this earlier. I didn't write it down. I'm just lucky I remembered it. The simple fact of the matter is the Dallas Cowboys, without Cooper in the lineup, okay, or when they had him, they could not get him the ball. Why was that? Well, they couldn't figure out a zone. They could not figure out a zone defense, so they got the ball to Schultz. So, yes, the coaching staff put it together really good. At least they find a way around it. But what happens when your coaching staff, as far as the situation with Quinn and what's the offensive coordinator's name? His name slipped my mind. But those two getting together to figure out how to get Amari Cooper open, what they need to do in order for them to get it open. But here's what I say. When you got a $20 million wide receiver, you get him the damn ball. And if you don't get him the ball, that falls up on Dak Prescott and the offense. But Dan Quinn also has to be able to help out defensively to say, this is how we're doing. And I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. It is a big thing because they have CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Name me anybody else besides Schultz that is going to be receiving this football. This is not good. And it will be a big deal. And they're going to wish they paid the money to keep Amari Cooper here and what it is. However, the statement you got going on right here, the offensive line needs to be stronger. Yes, and that is going back. And you can ask my co-host. I sat here on this show and said the Dallas Cowboys need to get an offensive line. And you're exactly right. There's Pollard. Pollard, the better of the two. Ezekiel Elliott, but that's a contract that sucks so bad. They just have to suck it up and just keep him on there. And guess what? Ezekiel Elliott won't even matter. Pollard is definitely the better guy running the football for the Dallas Cowboys. Cedric Wilson's okay, but he's not great. So watch out for this. This is going to be interesting to see where the Dallas Cowboys are next year. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's 18. I see him going 9-8 since they can't go 8-8. So I'll give him the one game over 500, and that'll be lucky. And hold on. Why would you go into a growing process when you're 12-5 already? That makes zero sense. What you need to do is go for the jugular. You keep it. Add more, spend more, go over the back. And listen, it's Jerry Jones. It's just money. This is dumb. It's a growing process. No, it's not. You're 12-5. You're already grown. Move on. Do it and do it right. And win this division like they should, but now they're not. They're not going to win the division. I'm just saying that right now. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to win the division. They'll be lucky to be playing for a wild card, and they'll probably get shut out of that because of other teams that are making better moves for their team will get an opportunity at that wild card going on. But wide receiver wise, they're in bad shape. Now, That's just me. It's just me living here for the last 17 years, watching the Dallas Cowboys piss away another season, and this is how it starts. You go 12-5, and now there's all of a sudden a problem with Amari Cooper. I mean, come on. Makes zero sense, and they're in a lot of trouble. And if you don't think they're in a lot of trouble, we'll revisit this. But do I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs?
I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so. What? Whoa, hold on. Trey Mack. Hold on, Trey Mack. No, they didn't. Okay? All right. So, but let's just say that. They play against the Eagles, Giants, and Washington. They're even worse. Well, if you honestly think that the Washington Commanders are worse now than they were at the end of last year, you're crazy. Even with Wentz at the quarterback position. We'll talk about that in a moment, but that's an upgrade. Say whatever you want. Heineke, and if Fitzpatrick could have been there, I don't know, but it was mostly Heineke and the other dude. Listen, Wentz is a step up, and, well, all right, since we're talking about Wentz, let's just go because I got a lot about you. Okay, Carson Wentz is one of those deals, okay, where, yeah, he's not the best out there. But do you honestly think that they didn't get better at the quarterback position? You're crazy, because they did. Where is my situation? What the things that I was talking about Carson Wentz? Here we go. All right. So first, let's go to this track right here. Luck, Brissett, Rivers, Wentz. Now who's next? Okay. 5 years, 5 starting quarterbacks. It's going to be interesting. So it starts with that. Then now Wentz. Here's the trade info. Okay. Trade away a first and a third. That's what the Colts did. Now Washington traded away a third and a third to get this, but that was much better. But this was only a year later. So if you go to top 10 free agents, he would have been in that top 10 if they were there. All right, so let me move that comment out of the way and I'll get back to it. But there it is. These are your top 10 free agent quarterbacks that are out there. Okay, I'm sorry, Carson Wentz is better than Winston. Might be comparable to Marcus Mariota and Mitchell Trubisky. Ryan Fitzpatrick is who he is, but he's definitely better than Teddy Bridgewater, the guy I got mad love, Colt McCoy, Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton. This was a good move for him. Maybe the only one that they could have done. And if you're right, Cuervo, Juju is not great. All right, so let's go back to what the wide receivers. They and I got that as well. Where is that at? Sonny. Sonny has been up on top of everything, but I had not been able to get it. And where's my wide? Oh, I showed that last year. But here's the top 10 guys that are out there that are in free agency. This is the top 10. I want you to take a look at that kind of stuff. Guess what? We don't see any wide receivers out in here. So, I don't know. If they go after Juju, I get it. But I don't think that's necessarily a great move. I don't even think Juju's even a good player. Yeah, I just said that too. I don't even think he's all that great. But now, here we wrong one. Here we go. That's the wrong one. Here we go. This one right here. Sorry. Carson Wentz. Now, yes. It's a proving point about Washington. With him, their odds dropped for Super Bowl. But let's be honest. No one thought that they were part of the Super Bowl as far as anything is concerned. And it did so I think I got all the Wentz stuff out here. But they are a better listen. They are a better football team with Carson Wentz out there. So, and maybe, and you might be right, but listen, he's better than Tyler Heineke, and he's definitely better than Fitzgerald. It really is. It's just one of those things. And there's another one. So, I don't know. I could be wrong, and I don't know if anybody can change the way I feel about the Dallas Cowboys, but this is where the Dallas Cowboys are. This is what they do. This is a consistency coming from the Dallas Cowboys that we are used to seeing week in and week out. So, no. So Cuervo, are you saying that they get worse and maybe they should just go ahead and hold on to Tyler Heineke and let him start? They're definitely better at the quarterback position, which makes them better than they were last year. Now, granted, let me just preface that when I say that is I'm not sure what they're losing. I've heard that they're losing number 26. His numbers is fading off my mind there, but they might be losing him. But if they fill that spot, they might. But it is the NFC East. See, now the NFC East is right back to what they were 2 years and 3 years ago, right at 500. And it's going to come down to week 18 in order for them to figure out who's going to win this division. Unlike last year when the Dallas Cowboys were 12-5, I don't see him doing it. I don't see him making it. So, interestingly enough, we'll figure all that stuff out. By the way, Cuervo, if you want to call in, I can bring you in on a call if you can't do video and you want to be there. But so they're definitely better off with Heineke. Yeah, absolutely. So, will the NFC East get better? I don't know. Do they have the opportunity to be better? Absolutely. But the Dallas Cowboys have taken that step back, and they won't be 12-5. They won't win the division next year. I don't know who will. We'll figure all that out. Because their paper, normally when we're going in the offseason and talking about paper for the Dallas Cowboys, you go, yeah, on paper, the Dallas Cowboys should win this division. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year. Will it be on paper? I don't know. We'll figure that out. So here's what we're going to do, guys. Sonny needs his coffee, like I need more coffee. But I'm going to get me some more coffee. So we are going to take a quick break. We'll go in there, and we haven't heard from our sponsors in a while. But so we'll get those guys out here and get our sponsors talked about. When we come back, a lot of other NFL news going on out there. Again, everybody keep your wishes out for the big guy, okay? We started the show off with breaking news regarding the big guy, Reza Ramon and Scott Hall. Right now, not in good shape. So keep your thoughts and prayers out if you're that kind of guy. What he's come back from has been amazing. So hopefully everything will be good with him. So we'll take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back, we got a lot more NFL news that we'll cover. Also, the lockout is done in Major League Baseball. Do you give a rat's fat hairy ass? I don't know. I know I don't. But we'll talk about it anyway. We'll be back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And
this is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, letting you know about RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered, but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out, and you'll have your food within 25 to 45 minutes, depending on distance. Check out RowlettFoods.com for your next meal at Raising Cane's, Golden Pie, Ponchos and Lefty, and more. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com. This is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, letting you know about Landon Huey and 19 Ministries.
One of the things we want to do is we have this idea, the name that's kind of sticking right now is Rowlett Revival. And we know that there are a lot of hurting and broken people across the city. Out of a population of 60,000, there's close to 40,000 that aren't saved. And we want to do like a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday where we'll bring in a guest speaker, and he's just going to share the love of Christ. And we want to connect people in the city up with churches and where they can find a healthy church family and find people that believe in them and find a God that loves them. Jesus came for a broken world, and man, he loves and cares for everybody in the city. And so we're excited about that. We're working through details right now, but our vision is to see God's going to reach a lot of people.
So make sure you contact Landon Huey at 19 Ministries at 972-835-8665, or check them out on the web at 19ministries.org or uniterowlett.org. This is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, asking, are you looking for a new home? Want to know what your house could sell for in today's market? Then you need to contact Realtor Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Rockwall. Whether you're buying, selling, leasing, or investing, he can help you get where you need to be. Visit RayHubbardRealEstateGroup.com or make an appointment today by calling 214-236-2914. That's 214-236-2914. Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Rockwall. Find out how Merchant Masters DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale systems. In 95% of our cases, our services save our clients money. So, what makes Merchant Masters DFW different from all the others? It's an integrity-first approach to each client we work with, so you receive the very best, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. So claim your free audit at merchantmastersdfw.com or contact John Beeman at 262-339-5470 for more information. That's 262-339-5470. Merchant Masters DFW, different from all the rest.
Ever want to know why Bill and I look so great on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook to find out why. Check out all the samples that Kelly has got up so you can see, especially if you have that special occasion that needs something original, something designed, something that just says, this is our moment. Check out K West Designs on Facebook or give her a call at 469-601-5856. That's 469-601-5856. Again, K West Designs. Make yourself look original or different or just something just for you. K West Designs. Welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show as we are here on our Sunday tradition that continues on here. Excited about what's going on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Didn't I hear from Sam Crenshaw? Hopefully we'll get him tomorrow, as we will be on air tomorrow, by the way, guys, because we have a special guest. And I'll explain all this tomorrow, but guys, there's something to be said about a little laughter in your life. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring on a comedian tomorrow. Lindsay Tyree will be joining us, special guest on Monday at 5 p.m. So she's a wrestling chick, but she's also a comedian. If you get the opportunity, you can head on over to her Facebook to check out some of the stuff that she does. I just want to get an idea of what this young lady is going through to become a comedian. So it's more of a show that I found interesting, that I thought would be really fun to do on the show. So we'll be bringing her in as she has hit the open mics, and now I think she's actually getting a little coin action going on as far as her career, as far as the comedian side of it. So we're going to bring her on tomorrow. Since we're unable to get Sam Crenshaw, maybe tomorrow might be a better day for him to join us as well. I got a message out to him and have not heard from him, but he also said that he may be busy. But we got to get him in because we want to talk a little Atlanta Falcons football going on. Now, guys, interestingly enough, Las Vegas knows a lot. Okay, we already seen the movement of where Carson Wentz and their Super Bowl chances goes down as far after getting this guy. Completely get it and everything else because that's Vegas. Vegas also put this one out. Take a look at this as the odds to win, the Green Bay odds to win. Okay, are interesting. They 6-1 before Rodgers signed the big contract to where he is now. They're 4-1. This was a big move for that football team. So as far as signing them, Vegas also knows a lot more than what we know about a lot of things. So that signing is something. And moving up the 2 steps that they did from 6-1 to 4-1, that is also big too. Now, where they're going to be at next year, I don't know. Green Bay is one of those teams that are, Jekyll and Hyde. They should be winning every year. They should be doing that. They should, and they haven't. When you've had the MVP for the last 2 years, quite possibly is favored to be going for his third, that's going to be an interesting look this year. And I say that because of same thing as far as the NFC East is concerned, you have the same thing in the NFC North. Because of how bad that division of football is, it's really quick. Odds are Green Bay wins that division, and then you got 3 other teams. One team, if you believe as bad as they are, going to be completely out. So maybe it's just Minnesota and Chicago. But really, how good is Minnesota with the Kirk Cousins, which, by the way, has been rumored a lot, just to let everybody know, he may end up in Indianapolis. He's also been rumored as well as far as Carolina and also in Miami. So there's been a lot of talk about Kirk Cousins. Now, I don't necessarily think Kirk Cousins is a great football player. I do believe that he needs to stay in Minnesota if Minnesota has an opportunity to make the playoffs. Because you do have a guy that can deliver the ball to the outside Jefferson. They made a couple acquisitions. They got a great running game. I think they need to leave the offense alone one more year and then go with it. Yes, it's a lot of money that's going to be eaten, but that is a football team that has to eat that money because really, outside of Kirk Cousins and some of the other guys that are on there, I put it out there. I put that top 10 quarterbacks that are out there right now. That's bad enough. None of those guys up on that list are worth it, I would think. So just throw this out. Jimmy, here's just a quick comparison in 2021. Baker Mayfield, record 6-8. He could be available. Jimmy G, 9-6. Wentz, 9-8. So, touchdown to interception ratio, 17 touchdowns to 13 for Baker, 20 touchdowns to 12 interceptions for Jimmy G. But look at Carson Wentz at 27-20. You can't just watch the numbers. The interceptions, some of them are really bad, and we saw against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the last one that was pretty damn bad. And then your passer rating, 94.6 for Carson Wentz, 98.7 for Jimmy G, and Baker Mayfield at 83. Obviously, these are guys that could be, Wentz can't be. He's done. I had the slide before he actually signed up on there. But interestingly enough, what's going on there, quarterback position is so huge. And again, all you got to do, I don't know. I know Cuervo's wife is feeling pretty good, as well as they should be. Okay? So some of the things that have been put out as far as Denver is concerned. Now, guys, remember the division they're playing in football? They finished, if I'm not mistaken, last. If they didn't, they were third. But if you listen to Adam Shine, which I don't, by the way, I'm just putting up what he said. I don't agree with this. He says the Broncos are now in Super Bowl contention, and they're not. This is a perfect quarterback for the Denver Broncos. That obviously being Russell Wilson. Now you got Williams at the running back position, and you got a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch with Judy, Patrick, and Hamler. But I'm telling you, the key to the Denver Broncos being really good is the TCU product, Sutton. And if they don't get him the ball, that's going to be a problem. But it's nice to have, options. Big, huge options. And not only that, when you got a quarterback that is Russell Wilson, there's a lot of things that go with it. Let me go to this slide right here. Most games with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, Carson Wentz is number 7. So as we're talking about it, that's pretty damn good. Russell Wilson with 7, Dak Prescott with 7, Kirk Cousins at 9, and obviously the $200 million man in Aaron Rodgers. So interesting how the quarterback makes a big one. Now, I'm going to throw curveball here as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. And I know, just before I do it, I just want you to hear me out. Here it is. Here's the slide. Colin Kaepernick is working out in hopes of the 2022 NFL return. Now, I didn't report that. I'm just saying it has been reported. Okay? Good, bad, or indifferent, it's out there. I didn't put it out there, but yeah, and also just to let you know, I know he hasn't played in 6 years. I know. But I want to throw up the top 10 free agents where his name wasn't mentioned. And everybody on this list, except 3, he might be better than. And the 3 I don't think he's better than, or that I don't think is better, would be Marcus Mariota, Mitchell Trubisky, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. The other 7 on this list, maybe, just maybe, Colin Kaepernick might be just as good. But this is a guy that hasn't seen the field in, 6 years now? That's saying a lot. That Carson, that's saying an awful lot. And here we go. Put it out, post in the video. I would take Cap over half those guys. He says half, I say 7. And I don't think that is insane. But I have always lived my life. Okay? Because you say it out loud. And as it sounds as stupid as it sounds, it's probably not a good idea. I'm going to take a quarterback who has not seen the field in 6 years and have him start for my football team. Now, that also being said, that is not what that is, okay? On that top 10 list that I just put up there, a lot of these are backups, right? These are backups. I mean, Jameis Winston, I don't know why everybody just wants to fall in love with Jameis Winston. This guy sucks. Okay? I can't say it any. This guy, if I am a GM take a step back. If I'm an owner and I have a GM who's honestly thinking about taking Jameis Winston, I want him fired. I don't want him. That kind of thinking is just way beyond what my expectations for the football team are. Even as a backup, I don't like Jameis Winston. Yeah, I said it as a backup. At best, a backup. But he's Marcus Mariota. I'll take Mitchell Trubisky and Ryan Fitzpatrick. But Teddy Bridgewater, if someone's going to get Teddy Bridgewater, why couldn't Colin Kaepernick be there? They're the same guy. Tyrod Taylor, boy, he missed out on an opportunity. I don't know if he's going to actually, he said he isn't going to pursue it, but maybe when all the money starts going away and if he still has an opportunity to sue, he could still do it. But Tyrod Taylor, he's better than Andy Dalton. He's better than Jacoby Brissett. And listen, I don't know. Cam Newton over Colin Kaepernick, maybe yes, because of health, just health-wise. I mean, Cam Newton is a health liability. And here it is, 9 over these guys. He says 9 better. So my Marcus Mariota, Mitchell Trubisky, and Ryan Fitzpatrick that I would say that are better, 2 of those he doesn't agree with. I'm not sure which ones those would be. I would think. Maybe I'm thinking somebody else. But this is not the dumbest move for a football team. All right. Now where we are as far as the, type of guy that he is, been out of the limelight a little bit. Maybe he could go on there and get some time. Now, I'm not saying that teams should go after Colin Kaepernick as a starting quarterback in the NFL. But then that goes to ask the question, how much money do you pay this guy? And then when you figure that money out, will Colin Kaepernick take that money? See, we still go back to the same thing because when he was going through all this stuff, he had opportunities where he had contracts and he turned down the contract to play for certain teams. And that's fine. That's his choice. I don't know if his expectations are going down, or not. But here's what I'm going to say for Colin Kaepernick. You're going to have to come to Jesus because of this right here. The defensive player rankings that I saw and I liked is you got to worry about J.C. Jackson, Von Miller, Chandler Jones, Jesse Bates, and Marcus Williams. And there's some other names that are not on this list, but those right there might be. I think you also got to put Aaron Donald on that, even though he's a defensive lineman. But these defensive players that are huge. By the way, Chandler Jones, the Arizona Cardinals are thinking about letting Chandler Jones go. Good, better, and different. Chandler Jones is a stud. And say whatever you want. If the Dallas Cowboys are not looking at to go get him, they'd be crazy. That'd be a great pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. That's going to cost a lot of money. Oh, they just got rid of you. Dallas Cowboys need to do whatever they need to do to win. But the Arizona Cardinals can ill afford to lose this guy as well as their quarterback. So they might as well just shut up and pony up the money because this is not a good thing for them. Bates got the franchise tag already. Got it. By the way, my boy Wagner, the Dallas Cowboys are very interested in getting Bobby Wagner. I'm not going to say I'll turn into a Dallas Cowboy fans, but that I would love to sit and watch that. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you want you some Bobby Wagner. I'm telling you now. But that's a lot of money there too. So interestingly enough, I think, by the way, also, how about this? Put this out here. The Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby, 4-year contract, $98 million extension, putting him the highest among players on the defensive side of the ball in NFL history. big time stuff for the Raiders. This was probably one of their best signings in a long time. And yes, it costs a lot of money to keep number 98. It costs them $98 million. 99, actually. Might as well just give him the number 99. Such a good signing for them that keeps them right there. Huge stuff for him. Him and hey, understand what you're saying there, Cuervo. Him and Parsons, yeah, yikes. I get it. So watch out. I mean, the AFC East is going to be a great division of football to watch this year. But here's what he says about that being my fine co-host of this program. Dumb move by the Raiders. He'll have all attend and miss about 5 games. I don't know. I think it's a great move. You keep, first of all, you keep a guy that everybody loves. That's number one. Number two, his production will be there. It will be all about health, Cuervo. I'm right there with you. Big time. And Parsons and Bobby Wagner together on the Dallas Cowboys. I just that almost might turn. It won't do it, but it will almost turn me into a Dallas Cowboy fan. Now, how about going this? Khalil Mack, Vegas. You know, they do what they do. When he was with Vegas, that being Khalil Mack, 304 tackles compared to the Bears' 163 in 4 years. But here's I want to keep this 40 and a half sacks in those years with the Chicago Bears, 36 sacks and forced fumbles, 14 when he was with the Bears and 9 for the Raiders. So, yeah, you have to take a lot of those tackles away, but you also got to understand, I mean, this is a guy that is not Mr. Healthy. What will the Chargers end up with when they grab up and everything's all done with Khalil Mack? But you want to talk about a duo. How about Joey Bosa and Mack, and then that guy in the back? His name is the linebacker up there. His name's slipping my mind. I mean, this signing for the Chargers is a great signing for the Chargers. It's also great for the Chicago Bears because you get a guy that unfortunately has not been healthy. And so you got to put that out there. By the way, I wanted to put this up here earlier. So Dallas has shown interest. And again, that goes back to Parsons, what we're talking about. Played for the Dallas Cowboys, Dan Quinn, when he was in Seattle as well. So there's lots of interest. And when I read this, it's been a while since Dan Quinn's been up in Seattle. So the fact that there's major love, I don't know if there necessarily is. But still, you think about it, it's really interesting. So I love me some Bobby Wagner. Philadelphia, what's going on in Philadelphia? Well, Philadelphia goes ahead and gives their center a big contract, $14 million, making him the highest paid center in the NFL. And when you are Jalen Hurts, you are a happy man today because that guy is a stud and they need to keep that guy. There's no question. So now they just need to do a little bit more on that offensive line. By the way, I'm hopping back to Chandler Jones, excited to test the NFL free market agency and not expected to return to Arizona. So if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, that's bad news for you. It should not make you feel good at all. I don't think there's anything within that makes you feel good for the 2022 season. By the way, back to Philadelphia, though, there's trade rumors out there that Fletcher Cox teams are showing interest to grab this guy. And I think, and sometimes, and Cuervo has made this statement, sometimes you're in a place for a long time and you just can't succeed. I think Fletcher Cox could be that guy. But really, when I think about Fletcher Cox now, I have to ask my question, how much does he have left in the tank? Good, bad, or indifferent, this guy's been in the league for a long time. He's still productive, don't get me, but sooner or later, you're going to see that decline. Is this the right time to get rid of a guy like that? You know, and with Seattle doing what they're doing now, you got this guy and Jamal Adams. He's back in a rebuild. When I saw this, I had said, well, geez, this guy, he gets signed, goes to a contender, can't go anywhere. So the Jets, he goes to the Jets until 2019. Seahawks make the playoffs. First year in Seattle for Adams. And now the Seahawks, after missing the playoffs at 7-10, trade Russell Wilson. So how does this feel for Jamal Adams when his idea is, yes, I want to be out there with the contender? Well, he's not with the contender anymore. And then my question goes after that, how much longer does Pete Carroll stay the head coach of this football team when, I don't know, they lose Russell, they're going to lose Wagner, they've lost a lot of guys. They're going to have to retool this thing. How patient will Pete Carroll be? How much of the blame will he take for this? How much will he sit and listen to? Because you want to talk about a little jittery bug, that's what he is. Very jittery. So, by the way, back to Washington really quick. Got this out here. Cut ties with Landon Collins. This was the guy, number 26, I was thinking about earlier today. So this guy, they're going to cut ties over the contract dispute. So watch out for this guy. He could be a guy that will generate a lot of interest in the NFL. Also, the wide receivers, Antonio Brown has now hinted of wanting to join the Dallas Cowboys. And isn't that just poetry? That is Dallas Cowboy poetry, because they are on a collision course for just bad stuff, and just signing this guy would just almost put them right there at Crazyland. To me, I just find it funny. Also, another guy out there that's getting a lot, that I don't know. Will he get a lot of looks? I don't know. But Clowney is not going to return to the Browns next season. So meaning Clowney will be playing on his 5th team in 5 seasons, as he started out in Houston, then went to Seattle, then went to Tennessee, and now with the Browns. Where will Jadeveon Clowney be? Interesting stuff there. So, also, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, active quarterbacks with multiple Super Bowl appearances. So you only got 2 with multiple Super Bowl appearances. That means you go through the NFL, you look at the quarterback, and yes, even Aaron Rodgers don't have 2. So that, when you take out, some of the guys that have gone away, that just leaves these guys. So is Russell Wilson going to be the answer? I don't know. Is he capable? Absolutely. Is he going to be on a better football team? I think so. But I don't know about the coaching for them going in there. So there's got to probably be some workouts and things that are going to have to be understood for that to work. Alvin Kamara becomes the latest Saints player to structure that contract, as Jonathan let everybody know how much of big money they're behind. But they're going to keep Kamara, put that money in bonuses and roll it and get this 100, but you also keep your guy. Alvin Kamara, really big. Also, the Bears, Cuervo, Tyreek Cohen. The Bears are releasing him with the injury designation, meaning that They're still paying his bills and making sure he'll be 100%. All that will be taken care of. But they are going to release him with the understanding they will take care of him and make sure he gets back to 100% healthy. When that happens, where will he go? Because I like this kid. I like him a lot. Cuervo, I don't necessarily think this is a great move. However, I get the reason why it was made. Don't get me wrong. But, man, I like this kid. If I remember correctly, I think you liked him too, if I remember correctly. But I don't know what the contracts are. I'm just reporting what has been coming out. Grading the trade so far that we've seen as far as Carson Wentz. It's a C+ for the Washington Football Club / what are they? The Commanders. And a C- for the move for Carson Wentz. Let me get this up here because I know like the move so far, releasing again was good too. Bears are trimming the fat. So is Tyreek part of that? So Cuervo, let me know. Yeah, it sounds like it's part of that, but I think that I don't know. I think I like them. Running backs are really hard to find, I think. But all right, so Khalil Mack, good move for the Chicago Bears, a little bit above average, but I think it's a big pickup for the Chargers. I agreed with this one. Where I think they're wrong is with the Wilson trade. I think it's a D for Seattle. And I think it's a B, but that is a good B+ for the Denver Broncos. Here's what Cuervo says. He likes Tyreek as well. He don't think he's because of the durability. That's right. I completely get it. That's the reason why they're letting him go. He'll be 100% and everything else. Man, if they miss on that, and if this guy goes someplace else and is a monster, I wonder if they'll end up hurting him. And listen, we're talking about $5.8 million. Is that guy worth it? And relatively a $6 million number is relatively low for a running back in reality, because I think they fall within 7 and 9. And obviously your better ones get more, but where he's at, I think he'd probably be about in between 7 and 9 million on a different team being completely healthy. I think they stole him at the 5.8, but the problem is his health is the reason why they're getting rid of him. So I'm right there with you, Cuervo. Thanks for answering that. I appreciate that, because I think that I hate to see the Bears lose a guy that really is. I think is pretty good. I think it'll be something. Now, the big news of this week. Okay, let's see. Did I cover everything else I wanted to cover before I did that? Before I jump into it, let me find out. Yes. I covered that, and I'll cover that if we go that route. And Cuervo has to say, give Seattle a D. I'm right there with you. Think that's a D. 40 million dead cap for, yeah, absolutely. B+. I think it was a good move. If you can't keep him out on the football field, then you don't know if this is the beginning of a regular occurrence for Khalil Mack not being healthy. So, yeah, I think it's a B+. I think it's a real good move to get rid of him. So, and Washington gets a C-. Yeah, but really, out of the quarterbacks that are, I don't know. See, and this all go with who you really actually could get. Carson Wentz, based up on those 3 that we were talking about on that top 10, I think he's better than everybody that was on that top 10. So I think, we always talk about, well, who are you going to get kind of thing. We always talked about that on our show. So, that's where I'm at. Now, the big story this week, a lot of stories going on in the NFL, but the big story is this one right here. You can say whatever you want about it. Deshaun Watson, no criminal charges coming for Deshaun Watson, and it is believed that interested teams will begin pursuing a trade for him as he still faces civil issues, and the NFL want to speak with Watson now that The criminal process is done. And now, since that has been solved, now the NFL wants to talk to him. Okay, hold on. I'm going to back up to this. Now that the Chargers take on Max 100%, I just think if they can keep him healthy, and it's a flip of the coin. The old couch potato quarter is definitely in play here because it could go either way for any of them, right, Cuervo? I mean, the couch potato corridor is a big time there. I like the idea of Joey Bosa and Mac and the guy in the back. That defense just got that much better, I think. So, interestingly enough. So, I don't know. All right. Good to see my brother, DC Dennis Clark. Now I'm getting to Deshaun Watson. And I want to talk about this because there are a lot of teams. And here's what my problem is with Deshaun Watson. The Deshaun Watson situation or the Deshaun Watson supporters. Okay. They didn't pursue him criminally. Okay. That just means that as far as the evidence is concerned, it's something that they don't think that they can get a conviction for. Why? This part I don't know. When you got 22 that are left of the 25, they could not get a conviction for. So the problem with social media and the fact that everybody just wants to exonerate Deshaun Watson, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not in full agreement with your assessment of Deshaun Watson. Just because but again, and I don't know why, but I have a feeling something went wrong there, but they won't go criminally, but going civilly. There's 22 women, 22, not 12, not 15, not even 20, but 22. Now, do I believe that there can be some conspiracy from those women? Absolutely. But not 22. Now, if they don't want to try to get the criminal portion of it, great. But if you cannot say that Deshaun Watson is innocent and everything is just fine. Civilly, the preponderance of the evidence gets lower. You're talking about locking up somebody for a period of time. That needs to make sure that the evidence is there that can hold them. And for the evidence that is there to put and take away a guy's freedom is not there. Great. Wonderful. That doesn't make him innocent. So all the people that are saying that he's exonerated, he's innocent. No, it doesn't mean he's innocent, guys. So just stop that. Maybe by the law, and I use those air quotes, but he's not innocent. So everybody that's talking about Deshaun Watson being innocent, all I'm going to just say is shut up. Because he's not innocent. So just stop it. Because Deshaun Watson is still, okay, and I'll just say it this way. Deshaun Watson has 22 allegations. How many of those make this guy a scumbag? How many is it going to take for this guy to be a scumbag? Do you think all 22 of them are lying? Listen, the evidence might not be there to put him in jail, but there's enough evidence because I'm just going to say, if you think it's more than one that needs to come out to think that this guy's not a scumbag, then you and my thinking is completely in left field. And by the way, and I'm just going to throw this out too. I'm tired of listening to this crap, and I don't care. SonnyClark24@gmail.com. I'm sick and tired of listening to this kind of nonsense that's out there. But I am not listening to this bull crap that he's completely innocent. And by the way, I don't care what color his skin is either, white, whoever does this. First of all, 22, I don't know how many physical therapy people you need, but it sure the hell ain't 22. And then why is it 22? Why? Listen, I'll tell you, okay? Let me just say this. My doctor, I love my doctor. I've been with my doctor for 8 years now. And if I could have had him for 20, I would. Why does this guy need 22 massage therapists? I mean, it makes zero sense. When you find something good that you like, you keep going back to it, like your doctors. Therapy. 22. Oh, no. You know what? I forgot. Deshaun Watson, he's innocent. No, he's not. He's an absolute scumbag. And I'm tired of all these people going, they're trying to drag his name through the mud. And no, Deshaun Watson did that himself. He's got 22 of them. If it was one, it was bad enough. If it was two, it's disgusting. If it was three, he's out of his mind. Number 4, he is a punk. And then he's got 22. How many is it going to take for him not to be a scumbag? Right? Listen. Now, I can't prove any of it. I wasn't in the room, but 22. Now, do I think sometimes something got a little out of hand? Do I think some women were going after his money? Yes, but not 22. Or the original number, I think, was 25 or 26. I forget what it is, but 22. Let me just say it. At the very least, of the 22, 7 have a real case against this guy. 1/3. Can we call him a scumbag then? What's it going to take? Well, just because you're not arrested doesn't mean that you're not a scumbag. Just because that this whole situation, and here's also, just to throw this out, I think they could get the conviction on it. But the simple fact that if it was any regular person, we're talking about a superstar that get away with everything. But I have to ask the question to the district attorney, how you can't pursue against this guy when you got 22? Why you're not pursuing that? And again, that's a strategic thing within the district attorneys and what they do. And I'm not a part of that, but I will throw that. I have a problem with that. They're saying no criminal, so go get his money. That's what the state is saying. That is what they're saying. Go after him, says go get his money because he ain't going to jail. Again, guys, Deshaun Watson is not being charged to be thrown in the jail, but it doesn't mean that he's not guilty. Pathetic. I mean, I'm sorry. I get to the end, and where we talked about, people who are innocent until proven guilty. Yes, they're innocent, but it doesn't always mean they are. So get away from that thinking. Stop thinking about it. Now, that also being said, the NFL's dropped the ball on this. I think he's going to be suspended. Good, bad, or indifferent, I think it is. But I will also say, if he comes out of it and not, I wouldn't be too upset with that. The guy didn't play all last year. And I don't feel bad for him not. The guy got paid to sit at home. So I'm not, my heart is not pumping purple piss for this guy, okay? He got his money. So, I don't want to hear about, they tried to take him and drag him through the mud. No, he dragged himself through the mud. And again, how many is it going to take for, I want to know from anybody, how many is it going to take for this guy to be a scumbag in your eyes? 1, I think is enough. 2, yeah. So I'm so tired of it. Oh, he was innocent. No, he was. No, he wasn't. They didn't even go through a trial to say he was innocent. They just said they're not going to pursue it. So it don't mean that he's innocent. Oh, they're just trying to take him down. You know what? If they are not going to pursue this legally, what do you expect the women to do? Okay, we'll just go away. What about the ones that were? Now, unfortunately, if he had only 1 or 2 massage therapists, he wouldn't have 25 or 26 of them lining up to sue his ass. And then one has to beg the question, if you got 25 or 22 massage, why do you need so many? Listen, if they're good enough, you only have 1, maybe 2. But not 22. Oh, man. Anyway. Oh, he's innocent. No, he's not. He's not. Is O.J. Simpson innocent? Pathetic. Listen, that's just me. But Deshaun Watson is far from innocent. 22. Okay. Would you have been outraged if it was 7? And if it was 7, you should still be outraged. Pathetic. And by the way, just to put this on here, the district attorney not moving forward with this case, it just tells you what wusses they really are and who they're really afraid of. Are they afraid for their job? The fact they did not pursue this case is pretty a pathetic statement coming from the district attorney over in Houston. Whoever that is, I don't care who it is, you're a wuss too. 22, you can't get enough evidence, I guess. I love the way the people are lining up to defend this guy. Oh man, I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I think it's pathetic. And anybody that thinks that he is innocent, whatever. I'm getting old. I'm finding out my patience level is not very high for stupidity. Anyway, guys, I didn't have a lot today. I probably would have had a lot more if I had other people going on there. Let's see what this is before. Let's see here. And Cuervo. Well, and Cuervo, for those that are listening, Cuervo says, I'd like to ask the DA why this wasn't pursued. I would too. That's why I just called him a wuss. But he's probably already on a very nice vacation. Listen, and by the way, that coming from Cuervo, I'll just add up on this, is you can't make a case with 22 witnesses, then there's something wrong with your prosecuting skills. That's why I say, why not try it anyway? So yes, so what I'm saying is, I believe, okay, at the very minimum, I believe at least 5 of them, and that's pretty pathetic, and the guy should be thrown in jail. So yeah, I just said it. Do I think that some were going after his money? Yes. Do I think that he thought he can get away with whatever the hell he wanted? Well, that's a great big obvious yes. And do I think that some said, hey, get your freaking hands off me, you bum? Yes. And that's enough, at least for me. I don't know. It is what it is, guys. I didn't have a lot. I didn't expect to go this long, so I did pretty good. So, hour and a half here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Again, tomorrow, well, there's going to be more news that could be coming tomorrow. But again, Guys, I'm really excited about tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to bring on a special guest. I'm going to bring on Lindsay Tyree. We're going to talk, we're going to talk about the comedian scene, what it takes for them to be, what they have to do, what they, and are they getting paid, and what it takes to get paid. I'm going to ask them, and hopefully we'll get some laughs as well coming from Lindsay Tyree. I can't wait for that one because I've watched her. By the way, the reason why she's on my friends list on Facebook, and I do a lot of watching on certain people, and I've watched her take the steps to be where she is as far as on being a comedian and stuff. You can check her out on Facebook, put her name in there. You should find Lindsey Tyree, Tyree. And you can check out some of the clips and stuff. We'll be playing a couple of her clips and stuff for tomorrow. So check that out tomorrow, 5 p.m. As we go ahead and bring her on, and there'll be more sports news that we'll talk about here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Thanks for joining us on our regular Sunday afternoon tradition in the off season. We'll check you next week, but we'll also check you tomorrow. Everybody have a good day. Take care. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.